Are you still losing money as a trader and you don't know why? You don't know where to turn, what to do, and you've been told probably to make sure you manage risk. Yep, we know that. Make sure you don't overtrade. Yep, we know that. But we're still making the same mistakes. We're still doing the same silly things. Well, on this video, we're going to dive into something a little bit different. So hopefully this will help you improve as a trader. Okay, let's dive into the lesson. Look, this goes back to when I was 19 years of age. As an ex-professional football player, I came out onto the pitch at Liverpool Anfield, okay? And we were in the first division, which is now the Premiership. And my mind just literally, my brain just took over the rest of my body and I choked. I didn't know what to do. I didn't even want the ball. I just lacked confidence. And I've been fascinated by performance in the brain and how it helps and hinders you as a trader, as a sportsman, as a business owner, presenting or whatever your thing is. And for me, dopamine has a big impact on people's trading. I have no doubt about this. I have taught and coached hundreds of people about this. And we're going to go through this lesson. I'm going to show you the impact of what it has on your trading and give you a few pointers at the end of how it can make you a better trader and help you guys. All right. So let's dive into this lesson and let's dive into, what dopamine is all about, because maybe you're just looking at the traditional way of helping you with your trading or helping you become a winning trader, like, as I said, like money management and and not over trading and having a trading plan and having a trading strategy. That's all fine, but why are you still losing money? Why are you still doing the same bad habits? And it's down to this, guys. It's not everything, but it is a big part of it. I think is down to this human behavior. All right. Okay, so what is dopamine? Now, dopamine is a neurotransmitter in the brain, which means it's a chemical messenger. It plays a key role in how we feel, pleasure, motivation, focus, and reward. When you do something enjoyable, like trading, or like eating tasty food, exercising, or achieving a goal, your brain releases this chemical called dopamine, giving you that feel-good sensation. How do you feel when you make a winning trade? Let me ask you. Here are a few important things about dopamine. What it does, it's motivation and reward. It makes you want to repeat behaviors that led to good feelings, a reward. Learning, it helps you remember what actions led to positive outcomes. Mood effects, it affects how you feel. Too little dopamine is linked to conditions like depression, Parkinson's disease. Now, focus, it plays a role in attention and concentration. All right. Now, which is why it's tied to also to ADHD as well. Now, I've done a video on ADHD on the channel somewhere. Check it out after this video. So in trading, guys, dopamine is a double-edged sword. Making money can trigger dopamine spikes, which feel good, but that can also lead to overtrading, gambling-like behaviors, or chasing the high, especially if you start trading for the thrill rather than sticking to a trading strategy. You start trading for the thrill. All right. Now, remember, if you go to a broker website, on their homepage, it says, and they have to put this in there, that 70% plus traders lose money with us, with that broker. All right. So if you are just trading for the thrill, you're going to be one of those 70% of losing traders. No doubt about it, guys. I'm not saying that all 70% of those traders are trading for the thrill, but if you just trade for the thrill, you will lose money and probably blow out eventually. All right. So it's not a good place to be. And I don't want you to blow out. I want you to make money. I want you to do well and go on to be a successful trader. All right. So let's have a little look at the different points here of how it impacts you in your trading. Now, it craves quick rewards. Dopamine is heavily linked to seeking gratification. Problems for traders is it pushes you to close trades too early or take impulsive ones just to feel good rather than sticking to your trading strategy and system. So, have you had a losing trade? Yes, you have. All right. If you've been trading the markets and watching this video and lesson, you've had a losing trade. We all have losing trades. Now, on the next trade you've taken, you've seen a profit. Let's say on the first trade you took, which you lost, was £100 loss. And then the next trade you take, you're winning, you're making a £50 gain. Now, have you taken the profit too early to make you feel good? I bet you have. I bet you have. That's not good for longevity, guys. That's not going to take you out of, and it's bloody hard, this, isn't it? It really is hard. If you have a losing trade, nobody likes a losing trade, and then the next one's a winner, and you take the profits too quickly, all right? Because you want to feel good, because you felt really crappy on that losing trade. You want to really feel good on this next winning trade. So it doesn't help at all. But understanding that dopamine is really trying to grab you to take those profits. It reinforces bad habits. Every time you win on a random, reckless trade, dopamine gives you that buzz, that hit. This wires your brain to repeat the same mistakes, even if the trade had poor risk management. So no trading plan, and you're just randomly trading, and you get a few buzz. I know traders that start trading, and they have a really good spell of trading, and they haven't followed a trading plan, and they're going on gut feelings. And it's probably people that are not doing it full time. Your mates down the golf club, or your mates at the football club, or whatever. And they make some money, and then they give it all back, all right, because they feel good, they overtraded, and the first few trades were great, and they made money, but they're not trading with any real plan, or not doing this professionally. It makes you addicted to the screens. Dopamine drives compulsive behavior. For traders, it makes you feel like you always need to be watching the charts or in a trade, even when no setup or strategy is present. You're sitting here. When you start trading, you want to, when you're a new trader, you want to learn so much. That's great. That's great. Spend lots of time learning, less time trading at the start. Okay. Now, these flashing lights that I've got on my 6 monitors here, they're enticing me into placing trades to make me feel good. And I have no doubt that's why the brokers have those flashing lights. When you open your screens every day and log into your brokerage account, you've literally got those, you're presented with all those flashing lights enticing you to trade, all right? But while I'm just sitting here, and we're going to talk about how you can get over this in a moment, but while I'm sitting here, those flashing lights are enticing me to trade. Am I missing out on something? Do I need a quick fix? I really need a quick fix. I need to place a trade here. So make sure that, this impulsive behavior, is going to be, it's going to be impacted because of the dopamine, but, that doesn't help at all. It clouds rational thinking. High dopamine can override the prefrontal cortex in the brain, the part of the brain that's responsible for logical decisions. All right. We're not going to talk about the one makes up the brain, the left side and the right side of the brain here, but this leads to overtrading. It does revenge trading and ignoring your risk management rules. Now, this here, guys, okay, because it overtakes that prefrontal cortex and overrides that, which is the part of the brain which is the logical thinking, the sensible thinking, not the childlike behavior, but the adult behavior. What happens here is that it can easily it can easily lead to self-sabotage, where you place some trades, you lose some money because you're searching for that fix, and you just keep on placing the trades because you are so fed up now. And then you go, oh, sod this, I don't care anymore, and then you just blow out, okay, because you're just revenge trading. Right, that's had enough now. Throw the toys out the pram. That's it. Okay, so I see that revenge trading a lot, and trying to cure that with traders is really easy. It's really easy. But make sure you're managing your risk as well, which is all part of that. Number 5 here, it can cause emotional trading. Dopamine is part of the brain's emotional reward system. This leads to trading for the thrill instead of trading with probabilities. Number 6, it makes you chase losing trades. After a loss, as I said at the start of the lesson, dopamine drops. You lose a trade, you feel rubbish, and your brain wants that high back. Look, if you lose a trade and you followed your trading strategy and your plan to the best of your ability, and you take a losing trade, that is all part of trading, guys, okay? You're not going to have 100% winning trades. You're not a bad person. You haven't committed a crime here. You've just lost a small percentage of your account on one trade. Now the dopamine then is low, and you're going to be craving for that thrill again to get that dopamine level back up to get a winning trade. Take a break. Walk away from the screen. I have like a 2-minute break. If I take a losing trade, 2-minute break, stand up, walk away, grab a coffee, grab some water, and then come back. I don't instantly look to make that trade back, that money back. Okay, because when I started trading like over 21 years ago, I would revenge trade. I would lose a trade, and then I'd get in. I want to make that money back. It's so stressful, so stressful. If you've got a really good trading strategy, then it's just all about just following the strategy. If it makes 70% winning trades, you just got to follow those strategies with a clear mind and a clear process of taking those trades. Anyway, we're diving into the fixes here. That's on the next slide. Okay, so dangerous risk taking to make the money back, over leveraging, over position sizing, because you want to, at the end of the day, you want to make yourself feel good because you've had a losing trade. All right, so how can we manage dopamine as a trader here? The more you trade for excitement, the more you're reinforcing addictive patterns, not smart trading. When I say this to people, actually trading for me, I love trading. I love the freedom. I love making the morning move and taking money out the markets and from the broker every single week. I love it. I love that. But the thing is, guys, if you're not following a strategy to the best of your ability, then that is not smart trading. All right. So get yourself a good trading strategy. Look, at the end of the day, if you're not doing this, if you feel like you're gambling, if you feel like you're impulsive trading, it's not smart trading. You need to stop. Now, create a trading plan. Sounds boring, doesn't it? I'm not great. I'm a picture person. I'm a chart person. I don't like writing things down. I'm not a writer. I'm more of a picture person. But you do need a one-page trading plan. Just a set of rules. If you're a visual person, somebody with ADHD maybe, that just likes to, can't focus on some small things, just try and get bullet points with your trading plan. Just make your rules your anchor. Dopamine wants you to be impulsive, but a solid plan keeps you grounded. Go to a coffee shop, get yourself down on the high street in a coffee shop, just write down, sit in the quiet area, if there is a coffee shop that's quiet, headphones on, and just write out your trading plan. Write out your entries, your exit rules, your risk management. It doesn't have to be pages long, and how many trades you'll take per day or per week. Follow the plan like a pilot follows a checklist. No room for feelings mid-flight at all. All right, so checklist every single day, right in front of you. Get some sticky notes and just write out 5 bullet points of your strategy right in front of you every day. Follow the rules. Have data on your strategies and the trades you've taken. Make sure you start on a demo account. See if you can follow the rules of your trading plan first before you start trading live. The ones that can, then have got a good chance to go on and do it live in a real live trading account. If you start to jump from one strategy to another strategy, and this is very much related to people with ADHD, one strategy hunting to another strategy hunting, they never stick with one strategy. And probably that first strategy they probably had was probably a really good strategy, but the human being couldn't follow that trade strategy. You're just jumping around everywhere. Anyway, that's getting onto ADHD. So focus here also on the process, not the profit. Focus on the bullet points of your strategy. I'm going to do this when this chart says this indicator says this system does that. Then I'm going to risk X% on the trade. And then I'm going to put my stop here, this place on a chart, on a technical area. When it gets to this area up here, I'm going to take my profits, or I'm going to take half the position, move my stop to break even. I am not going to mess with the trade before it hits that profit target. And I don't mind if I get stopped out on this trade, but my first profit target is this level. And you see, I've got bullet points here. I've got rules to follow every time, okay? And that will stop the impulse trades. That will stop the impulse trades. I think, with coaching individual traders, I get traders coming to me and they've lost lots of money. They have gone through so much pain. And now 18 months later, they decide to get training and coaching and mentoring. They should get it right from the start with trading, because we're trading for money here. This isn't flower arranging. As much as lovely flower arranging is, this is making money, and trading is about risking your own money that you've worked hard to get. You put it into a trading account and you think, oh, okay, I'm going to start trading here. And you don't realize that you need to be trained to be a good trader, to perform. It's just like any skill that's worth doing. So focus on the process here, not the profit. Track what you felt. Maybe have a journal. I'm not big into journals. I just put notes on my phone. We could call that a journal. But I think journals are great for people that want to write things down. But you've got to have data. You've got to have data on the amount of winning trades you're having, the losing trades. And as a new trader, but by the way, guys, I've done all this. I've done all the mistakes 20 odd years ago, okay? So I know how people feel. Just make sure that, you can see what you're doing wrong with your data. Your losing trades are going to be greater than your winning trades, I imagine, to start. And there's certain reasons why. We're getting off the subject a little bit there. But get yourself maybe, a journal or a book or on your phone. Track what you felt before, during and after trades. I'm talking about mentally how you felt. Was you chasing dopamine? So use non-dopamine activities like walking. I'm out on the bike after the morning session. I like to go out. If I'm not mentoring, I will go out on my bike. Meditation if you're into that, or just unplugging from the screens and charts. Get some fresh air. This makes you less reactive and helps you trade with a clear head. I think it's important to split the day up. If you're a day trader, morning session is this amount of time, maybe 2 hours in the morning. Break, get away from the screens. Do not overtrade in the doldrums. Then the afternoon session, you're back, you're focused again. You're going to follow your trading plan and your rules. You might well have had a nice profitable morning in the morning, and in the afternoon you're only going to risk that amount, a percentage of the profit that you made in the morning before you stop trading. Okay, you will thank yourself if you've made money in the morning, and in the afternoon, let's say you make £500 in the morning, $500. In the afternoon, you're going to risk 200 of that. And you carry on trading until you risk 200. So if your next trade's a winning trade, you carry on trading. Next one's a winning trade, carry on trading. Then let's say you lose £200 of now £700 profit, then you stop trading. That's you done. Otherwise, when does it end? Dopamine, you're craving that dopamine to get that fix. And bad things normally happen with traders after a losing trade. Not always after a winning trade, but after a losing trade. You can dig, and then you give it all back. Do you make money in the morning and then give it all back in the afternoon, or vice versa? Write it down. Understand your pattern, and then change it. Do something different. Give yourself a reward for actually stopping trading after you've then gone down £200 after you've made 700 in the morning. All right, so track how you felt with that, and make sure you keep an eye on this. And all this, I hope, will go on to make you a really profitable trader. The 30% of traders, according to the brokers, that actually make money, and the 70% that don't. And doing things like this, I've no doubt, will help you as a trader. So use non-dopamine activities like walking. I go cycling on my bike, and it helps you trade with a clear mind. So if you've enjoyed the video and got something out of this, guys, then maybe put a comment down below and tell us about your journey as a trader, the mistakes that you've made, and how dopamine has impacted your trading. I hope it helps, guys. I hope you improve as a trader. Give us a like, and I'll speak to you soon.